One time we did a screening of Cross Creek at USC. It was for some group. It wasn't for the students. It was an alumni group or something. And the assistant manager was there. I wasn't the projectionist. I was there that day to see the movie. So I was watching the movie, and the film ends. It all seems fine. And the manager comes out, the assistant manager comes out and like looks at the clock and says, "What's going on? What's the problem?" And it's like, "Nothing, the film's over." And she's like, "No, this film is like 2 hours and 20 minutes, whatever the running time was. And it started at 2 o'clock and it's 3:45. What's going on? This film is not over yet." And they turn and they look. And sitting over there is a 2,000-foot roll of the film against the wall. And the projectionist didn't run one of the reels. And I think it was 7 reels, and I think he didn't run reel 5. Maybe it was 4. I don't know. These are the 2,000-foot reels. So you left out 20 minutes of the film. So the manager is concerned. And she goes downstairs and she goes up to the gal running the event. And she says, "I'm very sorry, but there was an error. When we left out a reel." And the gal goes, "Oh, well, it's all right. We didn't notice." She's like, "Well, do you want me to run the reel, or can we do another screening, or what can we do to make it right?" And the girl says, "No, everything's fine. Just don't worry about it." And so after they all left the theater, we put up the reel to see what had been left out. And there's a scene in the movie where Rip Torn is like the sheriff, and he goes out and he gets drunk, and then he's talking to somebody, and then there's a whole scene where he goes off and he gets like really upset, and there's a whole fight, and then he gets shot, and then at the head of the next reel, like 20 minutes later or 15 minutes later in the movie, whatever it is, however long that one reel was that was left out, is Rip Torn's funeral. So when we were watching the film, it's like Rip Torn got drunk and he was like all upset about life and whatever, and then it jump cut and it was his funeral, and we all said, "Oh, I guess he died." And it wasn't not something you want to know as a director, that you could leave out 20 minutes of your movie and it doesn't make any difference to the audience. That's Hollywood. And I don't know when to stop telling stories, so I guess what I'll do is I'll say one last thing. I'm going to Vidcon. I'm going to Vidcon. I'm going to Vidcon. This is the Anaheim Convention Center. And it's all these crazy people who do all these wonderful YouTube videos and try and make the world a better place. And I am thrilled to meet them. And I will tell you why I am going and how this happened. I was down at WonderCon on Friday. I went by myself that day. Went back on Saturday with my friend Pat Miller. But Friday I went down by myself. And I got there and they were kind of early because I didn't know quite when things started. And so I was wandering around the halls around, I don't know, it was probably 10:30 or 11 a.m. or whatever it was. And there's this guy there in the hallway, and he's like got a video camera. He's talking to the video camera. And I'm like walking by, and he sees me kind of just glance at him. He goes, "Oh, I'm doing a video for VidCon. It's for my YouTube channel." Or whatever. I said, "Oh, that's fine. Go ahead, whatever." I just kept going. I guess they thought I maybe I looked at him severely or something. I kind of have this director look thing I give people sometimes. They get upset. But anyway, so that was fine. And then later that night, or the next day, or the day after, or something, that word stuck in my head, VidCon. And I went to go look it up. And somehow it linked through to Hank and John Green and Vlogbrothers. And I started watching that, and it didn't make any sense to me because they kept talking to people who weren't there. And then I finally figured out that they were brothers who were sending each other's videos. So I watched that for a while. And then they kept talking about Charlie McDonnell, who was in one of the videos. And then I went and looked at those. And so I became very interested in this. And when I realized they were starting to do all these wonderful things, especially like trying to make the world a better place and trying to educate people, and it was just wonderful. It was just like what a revelation. Because when I was younger, people would say, "Get off that computer, you're wasting your time playing those video games." And now people are going into the computer and they're living their lives in the computer, and they're actually living lives in the computer, and they have friends inside the computer. And now through YouTube, they have these personal experiences with people where they could connect one-on-one and have this sort of shared experience that you cannot get from Facebook and you cannot get from email. And they care about each other, and they are taking the world back out of the things they learn in the computer and the friendships they make, and they're taking it back out of the computer and making the world a better place. It's finally working the way it's supposed to. So I have worked many science fiction conventions. I was a technical director at a couple of the world science fiction conventions and all the usual stuff, and I could name all the conventions, and I have great fun with it. And of course, it's all volunteer work, so I thought to myself, well, I bought my badge for Vidcon, and then I called them up and I said, well, I didn't call them up, I emailed them or tweeted them or something, and I said, I want to volunteer. And they wrote back and said, can you work Thursday? I said, yes, I can work Thursday. So I'm volunteering at Vidcon, and I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of the people and just kind of seeing what it's all about. And I'm sure I'm going to be one of the oldest people in the room, and I don't care. It's great to see lots of younger folks. The great thing about young people is they know everything. They have an answer to everything. The world is crystal clear to them. White and black, yes and no, right and wrong. Everything to them is just very easy. They know the solutions to everything in the world. And when you get older, things become more complicated and there's more shades of gray. So it's nice to be around younger people from time to time to see that point of view again and remember what that was like. So that's the next big thing I'm looking forward to. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think that guy who was making that video was Hank Green. I think he was doing the Screaming Through Vidcon video. It could have been somebody else, but I think it was Hank. But I don't really remember because I didn't know who he was the day that I was there for WonderCon. My friend Alex had talked about him, Alex Pornell. I'm good friends with Alex Pornell. Alex had talked about these guys, and I kind of didn't know what he was talking about. And when YouTube first started, I wasn't that interested in it because it wasn't very well done. But what they have done now is they have recreated a new form of entertainment and communication, and it's fascinating to me, and I love it. So I'm going to go to Vidcon, and I'll give you guys reports from Vidcon and tell you what it's like. I may bring my camera down there and film a little bit of it, although the problem with filming a convention is the convention experience happens inside your head. So when I go there, I'll take pictures of hotel lobbies and like people standing there and like tables and signs for vendors and things like that. But the content of what people are saying and the things that are happening inside people's brains is a little more difficult to put onto video. But maybe I'll take some of that and talk about it and try and, I got to tell you one thing. I'm in the Director's Guild. So I'm actually going to have to call the DGA tomorrow and ask them what their policy is about YouTube. Because I don't think right now I'm breaking their policy because I'm putting up YouTube videos. And I'm talking. I'm not really directing. But if I start like making little movies or doing little animations or getting other people in my little movies, I don't know what the rules are. I don't even know if they know what the rules are. This is all very recent. And if I go to a monetized channel and I end up doing something clever like having my cat, play with some catnip or something and I get 8 million views and I get some real money for it or something like that. I don't know how that works even. But if that happens, then I got to give the DGA their cut, and I got to tell them about it. So I'm going to call them tomorrow and say, what about YouTube? And, usually they say it's easier to get forgiveness, but I think it's probably a better idea in this case to just say, I'm doing YouTube video blogs and I might be making some short films and I don't know what your policy is. So we'll see what they say. Or maybe they'll talk about it at VidCon and I'll find out about it there too. Anyway, thank you all. This is probably going to be like 5 or 6 different videos, but I don't care. I have fun talking. And I've had some good response from friends. So thank you. It does mean a lot to me to hear from people who enjoy the videos. And I don't know how far this will go or whatever, but I'm really having fun with it. So thank you all. I'm Michael Donahue. This is channel Hey Mike Mike on YouTube. And I'll see you at VidCon.